The engine is self-start.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin leak check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from comedy.
The engine is self-start.
for launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
Go. Pending final steps. The cabin leak check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Welcome to the Forgotten Library. Where the books whisper, the shadows listen, and the stories refuse to stay quietly on the shelf. I'm your host, Christina Spencer. And each month, we explore one novel together. With 3 one-hour live episodes of immersive, read-aloud chapters. Followed by a live interview with the author who brought the story to life. So find your favorite comfy chair, a soft blanket, and a hot beverage. Light a candle if the darkness scares you. And settle in for story time. Welcome to this week's live episode of Horror, History, and Hauntings Library.
Hello, all my wonderful, creepy little weirdos out there. How are you doing? My name is Christina Spencer. I am your host of the RNN Presents Horror, History, and Hauntings Library podcast, where we read books and we talk to authors. That's what we do here. And tonight's book tonight is the third installment. This is going to be the final live reading of Spencer's Ghost the Guardian by Al Cooley. Before we get started though, a little bit of housekeeping rules about the show. I won't be able to keep an eye on the chat as much as I'd like to. I'm going to have it up, but when I'm reading, hey Adam, I see you already. There's Adam. Um, I won't be able to. And sorry about the double intro. My cat jumped on the keyboard. I had one in my lap and one trying to get to the window in front of me because it's kind of warm in here today, which is odd because it's always cold because it's wintertime. But before we get started on Spencer's Ghost, ADHD and all around, but I want to introduce next month's author spotlight. Just in case somebody out there wants to buy the book ahead of time, they can and read along with us. It's going to be Wendy Cook, and she's the author of The Choice, which I opened earlier today, and I'm going to read it over the weekend so we can be ready for next month. But if you want to go ahead and order her book, it's called The Choice, and it's Wendy M. Cook, spelled K-O-K. All right, guys, thank you so much for that. Oh, hi, Al. Welcome. You're welcome, my friend. So and the only reason I found out about Wendy, what he's talking about, is through Al. Yeah, I had an opening just suddenly open up in March, and he's like, "Hey, you should check out this author. She's really good." And the synopsis of this book is right up my alley because it's paranormal, it's creepy. There's black-eyed children in it, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm anxious to dive into that one, but I've actually, since I've had this book, I've read it twice. It's a great book. If you enjoyed the live readings, please go out and buy Spencer's Ghost, The Guardian from Al Cooley. Support him. He's working on a second novel. So you want to grab this, read the whole thing, because I won't be able to read the entire book on the show, and I'll leave you a little taste so you can finish it on your own. But we're going to be starting on chapter 12 if you have your books. Okay? So before we do that, let's do our Mr. Rogers sweater change, which is my glasses. I have water as my choice beverage, and it's too hot for a cuddly, so I am in t-shirt and jeans for this one. No blankets, no sweaters, just my little readers. There we go. Now we're ready. My grandma readers. Get a drink of water, like I said. My drink of choice tonight. Because it has been very warm today. So I was not in the mood for a warm beverage. So costume change done. And let's get started. What did I do with the other glasses? That quick. We can't be losing those, or we can't drive. Put them away. All right. And let's get started reading. And like I said, we are starting on page 52, chapter 12. And it's called School Newsletter. All right. Let's try to figure out logistics here. We forgot Bob. Bob, I'm sorry, buddy. All right. Let's get you up on stage 2. So there we go, Bob. We got you, Bob. All right. Let's get started. School Newsletter, Chapter 12. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's great to be back in school. It's lunchtime, and instead of being in the cafeteria with my friends, I'm trying to find Mr. Carter's room. Mr. Carter isn't on the first floor, so I headed up to the second floor. As soon as I reach the top of the steps, Miss Pickleface stops me dead in my tracks. Miss Finch asks, "Excuse me, Spence, why are you wandering around in the halls?" "I'm trying to find Mr. Carter's room. I was hoping to find him on this floor since that's where his classroom was last year. Believe me, I've checked every room." I start laughing, hoping that Miss Pickleface would laugh along with me. We call Miss Finch Miss Pickleface because she looks like she swallowed a sour pickle. I can tell that she doesn't find me or my story amusing. Raising her voice, Miss Finch says, "Mr. Carter, I am no longer employed with the Warren City Schools. Where are you supposed to be?" "Mr. Carter is no longer employed. Where are you supposed to be?" I'm giving up my lunch break looking for Mr. Carter. As soon as I say this, the end of the lunch bell rings. "Well, Spence, it looks like you missed your lunch period. Move along to your next class." I had Miss Finch last year and I barely passed her class. Miss Pickleface does not like me. Not one tiny bit. I have never received a grade above a D in her class. My answers are the same as those students with an A. I have brought this to her attention quite a few times, and Miss Finch's answer is always the same. "It's because I don't like you, Spence." That's another thing. She never calls me by my first name, only Spence. Miss Finch is an old, bitter woman that sees invisible little green men and aliens. I don't know if this is true, but I hear that the board wants her out, but she refuses to retire. "I want to thank you for being so helpful," I reply with a touch of sarcasm. I can feel her shooting daggers in my back as I walk away. I can't believe Mr. Carter is no longer a teacher here. Has he been canned? Has he quit? He was one of my favorite teachers last year. Our band's first gig is Mr. Carter's idea. My stomach is growling. I make it to Mrs. Foster's class. We're all sitting in our seats, patiently waiting for her grand entrance. 5 minutes roll by. Mrs. Foster is late. One thing she doesn't tolerate is being late for her class. If a student is tardy, that's a trip to the principal's office. Speaking of the principal, in walks Mr. Powers. "Listen up, class," Mr. Powers says. "Mrs. Foster left due to an emergency at home. She will be gone indefinitely. No, I'm not teaching the class. Miss Finch will be your science teacher until Mrs. Foster returns. I expect all of you to give Miss Finch the same amount of respect that you give Mrs. Foster." Miss Pickleface enters the room. "Shit," I whisper. A few kids around me start giggling. Miss Finch slams her ruler on the desk, which makes all of us jump, and says, "I will not tolerate any disobedience in my classroom. You have one of two choices here. One, you sit, listen, and learn. Or two, get the hell out of my classroom." Wow, I can't believe she said hell in front of Mr. Powers. It looks like Mr. Powers is afraid of her because he raises his eyebrows and makes a quick exit. I look up at the ceiling and say, "Why me, Lord? Why me?" Again, my classmates around me burst out in laughter, which draws a stern look from Miss Pickleface. That stern look is directed straight at me. On our walk home from school, the girl who sits behind me in Mrs. Foster's class runs to catch up to our group. "Hi, Lee. My name is Laura. I sat behind you in Miss Finch's class." "You mean Mrs. Foster's class?" Jumping in between us, Trisha says, "Hello, I'm Lee's girlfriend, Trisha." I chuckled to myself because I know Trisha wouldn't let this go unchecked. Do we have a little jealousy going on here? Laura squashes that idea by saying, "Hello, Trisha. I'm happy to meet you. I'll only need a minute with Lee. I promise." I tell Trisha and the group, "Go ahead of us. I'll catch up." Falling back about 30 feet, I ask Laura, "What is it you want to talk to me about?" "Well, I'm on the journalism team and assistant editor of the school's newspaper dis- that will be distributed, can't say the word, distributed next week. Miss Finch is in charge of the project." You would think that an English teacher would be in charge of that, not Miss Pickleface. As soon as I say that, I know I shouldn't have. Laura is going to go back to her and repeat what I said. Laughingly, Laura says, "Yes, Miss Pickleface. She majored in English literature in college. Believe me, she tells us that in every meeting. Anyway, my point is Judy Perkins is one of the journalists working on the newsletter. Our main story in next week's issue is Who is Alice? A story by Judy Perkins." Angrily, I yell, "You're kidding me, right? I can't trust that bitch." Trisha turned around and gives me a dirty look because she doesn't like me using that type of language in front of her. Trisha and the gang are well ahead of us, so I must have said it pretty loud. "Lee, I understand your frustration with this. I do. I want to give you a heads up so you're not floored when the article comes out next Monday. Judy is getting to write this article because she is giving your band recognition for playing at the sock hop last year. In the article, Judy claims a mysterious envelope addressed to you fell out of your guitar case. The, envel- the envelope is from someone that goes by the name of Alice. The question is, who is Alice? There is not a single person in our school named Alice. I think it's a silly story to print, but Miss Finch agrees with Judy that people young and old love gossip. People love a good mystery. Mystery? Mystery. Oh, the question remains, who is this mystery girl that goes by Alice? You don't understand. That's a private matter, and it's very personal to me. I don't want that printed." Laura responds, "I'm sorry, Lee. There's nothing I can do." Laura turns and walks away. I run to catch up with the rest of the group and share Laura's startling information. They agree. How can Judy Perkins be so cruel? The bottom line is Judy Perkins does not care. She doesn't care that I will be bombarded with questions like, "Who's Alice?" Miss Gossip Queen is the only thinking of herself. I asked the gang, "Do you think I should confront Judy or ask her not to run the story?" All of them think I should drop it. Do nothing. Let it play out. Confronting her will only add fuel to the fire. I guess you learn in life who your true friends are. The day the newsletter the day the newsletter came out, I am surprised that not one person has asked me who Alice is. I don't have my copy yet, but I see other kids with theirs. At lunch, I bum a nickel so I can buy my own copy. From the first page to the last, there's nothing at all on Alice, the envelope, or the band. I have my copy of the newsletter. I whisper to Laura so that Miss Pickleface doesn't hear me. There is not one thing in this entire paper about Alice. Is there something you want to say to me? Lee, I'm sorry. Didn't you know? Know what? Since I've talked to you, Judy attended our journalism meeting last Friday after school with a huge bandage on her face. Judy claims that she had a terrible incident happen at home. She said her cat scratched her across her face. The gash is deep and required 32 stitches. She says she might be out of school for a few weeks. Judy is in quarantine, so she doesn't get an infection. She has asked Miss Finch not to print the story about Alice because new information has presented itself. Can I tell you something? This has to remain just between you and me. Yes. What is it? Well, Judy Perkins is not herself. The loud and obnoxious, now she is quiet and paranoid. It's really hard to explain. She keeps looking around the room like something or someone is watching her. I'm telling you, Lee, Judy is petrified about something. What? I don't know. Even Miss Finch has asked her if she's all right. One more thing. Get this. I find out through Judy Perkins' sister. Judy doesn't own a cat. I don't know how you did it, Lee, but you dodged a bullet on this one. I turned back around in my seat. Miss Finch is talking, but it sounds like a Charlie Brown character. Wah, 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 wah. I keep asking myself, is Alice responsible for Judy's injury? On our walk home, I tell the rest of the group the latest scoop on Judy Perkins. Joseph says, you dodged a bullet on that one. That is the same thing that Lord told me today. Deja vu. Joseph says, I know exactly what you're thinking, Lee. You're thinking, did Alice have anything to do with this? You're correct. This whole thing doesn't add up. I guarantee you one thing. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I have a funny feeling that Judy Perkins knows more than she's letting on. All right, let's quick check. Chat check. Adam says he's ready. All right. Oops. Man, this teacher sounds like the teacher I had in high school. I think everyone had one teacher they didn't particularly get along with. I had a couple. Well, it's not that I didn't get along with my teachers. I was a rebellious youngin', and I thought I knew more than anybody else sometimes. And yeah. So I was a slacker in school. I admit it. Like I did the whole I don't see the point of doing homework. And then I would ace all my tests and then I really agitate my teachers. And yeah, and I'd like to go out on weekends when I was way too young to do that. But yeah, I think everyone's has that one teacher I'm not going to name names because like I don't want to badmouth anybody, but everybody has a teacher or two that you're just like, It said, I'm glad my cat has never scratched me that deep. Yeah, I don't believe it was a cat. I've been scratched pretty deep by cats because I've had a lot in my lifetime and never one that required 32 stitches. That's crazy. All right, let's jump back in. Drink your water, hydrate, youngins. All right, on to chapter 13. Judy Perkins. So let's find out what happened to Judy. I position my chair so that it's in the middle of my bedroom. I sit down and look over the highlighted topics that I've circled on a piece of paper. Am I addressing this to Alice or someone else? I have many issues bothering me. I'd like to nip this in the bud before this grows any further out of control. I don't have a clue on how to communicate with spirits. I finally acknowledge, even though her spirit lives on, Alice is dead. We have one thing in common, though. We share the same house, and I've come to grips with that. Nobody is home today. I have the whole house to myself. This is my perfect opportunity to speak freely with the spirits in the house. I decide not to read from a scripted letter, or whatever you wanted to call it, that took me hours to write. I wad it up and toss it like a basketball dead center into the garbage can. Swoosh! I look directly at my closet where Pierre always sat and stared and began my speech. If you're the one who attacked Judy Perkins, please stop. I don't want to see anyone else get hurt. I'm getting the feeling that there's more than just one ghost in this house. I have a lot to learn about ghosts and spirits. Alice, or whoever you are, thank you for connecting with me first. I've never had an experience like this happen to me before in my life. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for keeping Blaine off limits. I'm not asking you to leave because I know you've been here a lot longer than my family. I plan on speaking with Judy Perkins to get an update on her condition. I have a strong feeling that you have something to do with this. Please do not contact or hurt Judy anymore. Please? I close my closet door and turn off my bedroom light. If my mother knew I was talking to the clothes hanging in my closet, she would have me committed. I walked downstairs to the telephone and called Judy Perkins. Hello, the Perkins. Who do you wish to speak with? The older female voice says on the phone at the other end of the line. I'm Lee Spencer. I'm a classmate of Judy's. May I speak with Judy, please? There was a long pause, and on the other end of the line, I hear, Hello? Is there anybody there? The voice on the other end answers, Hold on, please. Judy Perkins answers, Hello, Lee. I need to see you as soon as possible. Please stop over after school on Monday. I should be home for my doctor's appointment by that time, or I'll be home for the doctor's appointment by the time you get here. Before I can ask where she lives, Judy hangs up. I'll have to get her address from one of her friends at school. It surprises me that she seemed to want to talk to me more than I wanted to talk to her. It turns out that Judy lives only 2 blocks from West Junior. I tell Cheryl, Trisha, Joseph, and Alex to not wait on me after school on Monday. I will call with updates as soon as I get them. Trisha wants to go with me, but I tell her that it isn't a good idea. Although I feel sorry for Judy, I don't trust her. I don't want Trisha pulled into her crosshairs. This must be Judy's house. An old Volkswagen Beetle is sitting in the driveway with bumper stickers plastered all over it. I ring I ring the doorbell. An older version of Judy opens the door. Hello, you must be Lee Spencer. I'm Mrs. Perkins. Hello, Mrs. Perkins. I'm glad to meet you. I must say you look exactly like your daughter. No, young man, Judy looks exactly like me. I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference? I follow Mrs. Perkins through the house until we reach the sunroom. Judy's back is facing me, so I can't see her face. Judy is looking out over the pond in her backyard. Hello, Lee. How are you? Judy asks. The question is, how are you? Judy still doesn't turn around to face me. Well, I've had better days, Lee. I'm so happy that you're here. Judy sounds very weak. Even though she isn't my favorite person, I can't help but feel sorry for her. Mom, can you give Lee and me some privacy for a few minutes? Mrs. Perkins says, All right, Judy, you have 10 minutes. You know what the doctor said. And with that, Mrs. Perkins makes her exit. Okay, Lee, we don't have much time. Judy says as she turns to face me. What Laura told me isn't true. Judy doesn't have 32 stitches across her face, only a small bandage, and it's on her nose. Tell me what happened to your face, if you don't mind me asking. I will tell you everything, Lee, but as my mother said, I only have a few minutes before she comes back and asks you to leave. She keeps touching the bandage on her nose. First, let me say how sorry I am for not thinking of your feelings when I decided to publish the article on Alice. After digging the envelope out of the trash, I honestly thought you were cheating on Trisha. I now have access to the school's directory. I found out that there's no one named Alice enrolled at West Junior High School. The whole thing backfires on me. I think you'll buckle under pressure and tell me who Alice is, but you don't. You are willing to take the fall and protect her. I say to myself, the hell with it. If you want to be stubborn, I'll run the story and force you to reveal Alice's true identity. Excuse me. Goodness. Before it goes to print, I get an unexpected visitor. I'm taking a shower. I'm knocked to the floor. I will never forget the smell, a mix between formaldehyde and sulfur. The terrible smell in the science lab at school. This thing had me pinned down on the floor, only inches away from my face, and says, Leave Alice alone. Just like that, it's over. I get up and wrap a towel around me. I notice there is blood on the floor, a lot of blood. At first, I think I started my period. I'm like, oh shit. But then I notice there is blood on my towel. I look into the bathroom mirror. I have a deep gash at the brim of my nose. Sorry, allergies, man. Blood is squirting everywhere. I tell my parents that a tomcat somehow got into the shower with me, and by the time I see it, it's too late. My mother believes me because she sees a shadow run out the back door as soon as she hears me scream. I can't tell my mother the truth. Can I, Lee? That a ghost attacked me? A ghost who is protecting a girl named Alice? Lee, look at me. Look at what that thing did to me. I deserve answers. Why did you wear a huge bandage on your face when you returned to school to retract the story? You know, the 32 stitches is quite extreme, don't you think? Judy says, Lee, you know me. I'm all about the theatrics and making people listen. The fact is, whatever that thing is, followed me to school last Friday. I could feel its presence the short time I was there. Do you want to know the weird part about all this? I can tell by the look on Miss Finch's face. She senses something in the room with us as well. Why do you say that? Miss Finch is not looking directly at me, but to the left of me. That's when I feel its presence. No one can tell me anything different. Say what you want about Miss Finch, but I think she really can see ghosts. Get this. Miss Finch doesn't hesitate to retract the story about Alice and the mysterious envelope. What are you telling me? Is that thing, as you put it, forced you to retract your story about Alice? And do you think Miss Finch sees the ghost or whatever it is as well? Yes, Lee, that is exactly what I'm saying. Have you seen its face? No, but it looks like a silhouette of a man wearing a fedora. What the hell is a fedora, Judy? For crying out loud, Lee. A fedora is a hat that men wear. I'm assuming he's a man because he is extremely strong. Plus, he has a deep, manly voice. He stinks, and I can see through his silhouette. I can't move at all. The whole time he had me pinned down on the floor. I'm sure he's the one who put the gash on my nose. My face doesn't hit anything on my way down. How weird is that, Lee? Judy pulls her chair a few inches from mine and finishes with, this person, Alice, that you're protecting, is she real? I need to know. Mrs. Perkins hears Judy getting upset. She runs into the room and says, Lee, it's time for you to go. Judy's doctor told me not to let her get upset. Mrs. Perkins walks me to the front door. Ever since the attack on my daughter, Judy has had a few vivid nightmares. Her doctor is a psychologist. I've heard cats can cause this sort of thing if they scratch you or bite you. You know, mental distress, hallucinations, that kind of thing. I think to myself, I've never heard of that. Mrs. Perkins asked me to keep this quiet for now. This is something Judy doesn't want to be spread at school. I tell Judy's mother that my lips are sealed. With that, Mrs. Perkins closes the front door and pulls the front blinds shut. On my walk home, I know in my heart, Alice didn't do this. I'm glad that I didn't spill the beans about Alice to Judy. That would have been a huge mistake. I still believe Judy Perkins can't be trusted, especially now. Since Judy's encounter with the violent ghost, if this ghost is protecting Alice, how many ghosts are there in the house? And how has this ghost gotten to Judy? So many unanswered questions. All right, that's the end of chapter 13. Let's check messages real quick. Adam says, that's why I like to have the doors in my closet closed at night so I won't mistake my clothes for something. Or that you don't see something that's not clothes in your closet. Because that's a common fear I think children have, is the fear of the dark. But really, I don't think it's the fear of the dark. It's the fear that you're not alone in the dark. That's what scares you. It's not actually being alone in the dark. It's not being alone in that dark. But I would remember being afraid of the dark and the monsters under my bed. But I wasn't attacked like Judy was either. All right, hydrate break. It's the only thing about doing it live. I edit out the hydrate breaks, but if I take a hydrate break, you take a hydrate break. Okay. Chapter 14, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite time of year. I love that Grandma Pearl joins us for Thanksgiving dinner. This year, Uncle George and Nikki will be joining us for Bird Day. Those two in the same room can't be good. Lord help us. Of course, Joseph will be there since we consider him part of the family. Joseph always has a spot at our table. Wait a minute. Why is Thanksgiving fading? Lee, are you with us? Mrs. Foster is talking, but her voice sounds like it's in a tunnel. I hear kids laughing. I slowly lift my head off the desk. Welcome back, Lee, Mrs. Foster says. I can tell she is highly frustrated with me. My senses are slowly coming back. Oh my God. I've slept through her entire class. Continuing, Mrs. Foster says, class, please turn your pages to 75 in your textbook. Just making sure there. Robert, please read the first paragraph. Maybe Lee can catch up with the rest of us. Again, the whole class roars with laughter. Saved by the bell. Everyone races each other out the door for our 4-day Thanksgiving break. I'm not so lucky. Lee, hold on. Not so fast. Mrs. Forrester shouts over the chaos. I almost made it out the door, too. This day can't get any worse. Do you have anything you would like to say for yourself? Like, why are you sleeping in my class? Your grades are plummeting. I'm noticing a pattern here, and it's not good, Lee. You can do better. What's going on with you? Before you answer, remember this. Excuses are like flies. There are millions of them, and they are annoying. So, this excuse better be a good one. I'm sorry, Mrs. Foster. I haven't been feeling well. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but I'll promise I'll do better. For the longest time, Mrs. Foster doesn't say a word. She looks me square in the eye and says, Listen, Lee, I like you. I believe you have potential. I don't want to give you a failing grade this year, but you have to do your part. You have to help me out here. I'm here every day after school. I can assign you a tutor if you want to go that route. Those are a couple of options that you do have. I hope you pick the right one before it's too late. Now get out of here. Enjoy your holiday break with your family and come back with a better attitude. Thank you, Mrs. Foster. And Lee? Yes, Mrs. Foster? Feel better. You look like crap, man. Yes, ma'am. I should be excited and happy that I have 4 days off from school, but I'm not. It feels like someone sucker punched me in the gut. It also feels like my heart has just been torn out of my chest by Mrs. Foster. The sad part all about this is that she's right. I'm losing interest in school, my band, Trisha, and everybody around me that cares about me. What's wrong with me? I feel like I've been in a haze these last couple of weeks. Ever since talking with Judy Perkins. Speaking of Judy Perkins, why isn't Judy returning my calls? I find this a bit odd since she wanted to talk to me so desperately about Alice. I feel like I'm losing my mind. As I walk into the kitchen, I find my mother stuffing the turkey. Hi, Mom. I don't feel well. I think I'm going to go lie down for a bit. I've had a rough day in school. You shouldn't be tired, Lee. You slept through your entire science class. Dang. How did you find out so quickly? Your teacher, Mrs. Foster, called. She said that she is concerned about you. And quite frankly, Lee, so am I. Are you okay? Is there anything you want to talk about? Now, how do I answer that? Do I tell my mother a ghost in the house attacked one of my classmates? Better yet, this ghost knocked her down and pins her to the floor. It warns my classmate to leave Alice alone. Yes, Alice, the same ghost that's in the house. I can't tell mom any of this, or she'll have me locked up in a mental institution. I'm not feeling like myself. I need to talk to someone who's going through the same crap that I am. I feel like I've been hit in the head with a sledgehammer. Mom asks again, Lee, are you all right? You're scaring me. I was talking to you and you were staring right through me like you were in another world. I'm all right, Mom. I just need a little rest. I think I'm catching the flu or something. All right, Lee, go get some rest. But if you don't feel better soon, I'm calling the doctor and making you an appointment. Okay, Mom, I say as I work my way upstairs to my room. I didn't even bother to get undressed. I climb into bed, clothes and all. As I doze off, I see a shadow figure move across my room. I'm too tired to even care about the shadow figure. I feel a presence standing over me. What is that terrible smell? My bed is starting to shake. It's shaking violently. I have the chills, yet I'm soaked with sweat. I have my shoes, pants, shirt, and hoodie on under two blankets. Wake up! You've been sleeping since yesterday afternoon. I open my eyes. It's Nicky. He is pushing my mattress up and down to wake me. The odor I smell coming off him is alcohol. What time is it? I ask. It's Thanksgiving, you lazy ass, Nicky yells with laughter. Get up! Your mother has been checking on you. Here I am. Now, let's eat. Wow. I've been sleeping since I came home from school yesterday. I feel like crap. But I don't want my mother to call a doctor. I hate shots. I run cold water on my face, comb my hair, and tenderly make my way down to the dinner table. Grandma Pearl is tapping the seat next to her for me to sit down. Grandma Pearl whispered, You look like crap, Lee. Leaning in towards Grandma, I whisper back, I've been hearing that a lot lately. Everything's going to be all right. Later, I'm going to make you some of my blue tea. What's that, Grandma? It's not the best tasting tea, Lee, but it will remove anything bad inside of you that's not supposed to be there. Thanks, Grandma. You're welcome, honey, Grandma Pearl says with a warm smile. All right, what's going on down here? Mom asks at the other end of the table. I'll talk to you about it later, Shelly girl. Shelly girl? I've never heard Grandma call Mom that before. Mom shoots Grandma Pearl one of her Shelly looks, but it doesn't faze Grandma one bit. Mom asks, Who would like to say grace? Uncle George stands, raises his glass, and says, I'd like to thank Shelley and Tommy for inviting me and hosting a fabulous Thanksgiving dinner. I love you, sis. Let's all raise our glasses to the man who gathered us here today, who provided us with this wonderful food and fulfilled us with mercy and grace. The biggest badass of them all, God. Did Uncle George just call God a badass? I look around the table and every expression is priceless. Blaine breaks the silence by saying, Amen! Everybody else responds, Amen. Nicky clinks his glass to Uncle George's glass and says, That was a beautiful prayer. Tommy's about to correct Uncle George on his language, but Mom motions for Tommy to let it go. Uncle George chuckles and says, Thanks, man. I can get religious when I have to. Seriously? If Uncle George or Nicky step inside of a church, it would burn down. Yeah. If Uncle George or Nicky step inside a church, it would burn down. Tommy taps his glass with a spoon and says, "Everyone, may I please have your attention? First, I would like to thank George for that lovely prayer." Grandma Pearl interjects, "I taught him well, didn't I?" Everyone is laughing, including Uncle George. Tommy continues, "Yes, you did, Pearl. As I was saying, thank you, Shelley, Lee, Cheryl, and Blaine, for welcoming me into your family. And that includes you as well, Joseph." Again, more laughter around the table as Joseph raises his glass. Tommy continues, "With that, I want to make a special announcement. Shelley and I are getting married next week." Now everyone is standing up, whooping and hollering in excitement. My mother turns beet red with embarrassment. Mom raises her ring finger, which has a beautiful engagement ring on it. The sunlight shining through the dining room window makes the diamond sparkle. I notice Grandma Pearl dabbing her eyes with her napkin. She sees me looking at her and says, "This doggone allergy is getting the best of me." "An allergy, Grandma, at the end of November?" "Never mind, Lee. Shush." I can tell that Grandma is happy for Mom. I know these are tears of joy. I'm happy for Mom and Tommy. Tommy is a great guy and will make a wonderful husband and father. Wait, do I start calling Tommy Dad? Tommy sees the look on my face. He motions me to come to the head of the table. Tommy asks me, "Are you okay with this, Lee? You know, your mother and I getting married?" "Yes, I'm happy for you both." I walk next to my mother and give her a big hug. At this moment, Cheryl, Blaine, and Joseph are also included in the group hug. Mom says, "We'll be back from our wedding before your birthday, Lee." I ask, "When are you leaving and where are you going for your honeymoon?" "Lee, we are leaving tomorrow for Indiana to get married. The honeymoon will be at a later date." "Why Indiana, Mom?" "Because we don't have to wait for our marriage license. It's a quicker process. Your grandmother will be staying with you until we get back. We thought it would be better that she stays here instead of the three of your kids going to her house. This has been the craziest Thanksgiving ever, one that I will never forget." So that ends chapter 14. Let's see, I'm going to try to at least finish chapter 15. We have some chats. Get rid of that. "Think you should build a book club podcast." Well, that's basically what I'm doing there, Howie. In a way. But yeah. All right. I'm going to try to get through, let's see, chapter 15. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I want to at least finish chapter 15. But there's so much of the book I don't think we're going to get to that I was hoping to get to, man. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about it when I get done reading 15. All right, let's jump back into it here. There we go. Let's go back to this one. There we go. Chapter 15. Blue Tea. All of our Thanksgiving guests have left. Mom and Tommy are excited about getting married. They're not waiting until tomorrow and decide to leave tonight for their wedding retreat. Mom's upstairs packing. Cheryl is in the kitchen doing the Thanksgiving dishes, and Blaine, Tommy, and Grandma Pearl are at Grandma's getting her belongings for her week's stay with us. I'm lying under a couple blankets on the couch with a fever. Mom hears my moans and comes downstairs and shoves a thermometer in my mouth. Mom shouts, 103 degrees? You're burning up. I can't leave you like this. I notice that you don't have much of an appetite at dinner. It's not like you to pass on your grandmother's homemade apple pie, Lee. I'm worried about you. I'll be fine, Mom. It's just a flu bug. Grandma will nurse me back to health. I don't want you to cancel your wedding because of me. Please go and have a great time. I'm serious. I'll be fine. All right, Lee, but I'm calling every day to check up on you. Tommy and Blaine return with Grandma and her belongings. I feel bad for Blaine. His cheeks are beet red from the bitter cold outside. Mom tells Tommy their luggage is ready to be put in the car. I have a few more bags of your mother's to bring in, then I'll load our luggage. Mom says jokingly to Grandma Pearl, "What? There's more? Are you moving in with us, Mother?" "No, Shelley, it's just a week's supply of clothes, baked goods, reading material, and homemade remedies." Mom responds, "You know those silly remedies don't work. I have aspirin and cough syrup in the medicine cabinet." Grandma isn't listening to a single word Mom is saying. Tommy and Blaine are working as a team. Tommy places Grandma's bags at the bottom of the stairs, and Blaine drags them up the steps one by one. For a 5-year-old boy, Blaine is extremely strong. Tommy doesn't get a break as he loads his and Mom's luggage into the tank. Tommy asks, "Shelley, why so many suitcases?" "I can't decide on which shoes to take, so I'm taking them all." "You only have 2 feet," Tommy says jokingly. Mom asks Tommy, "Can you make our coffee to go, put together our snack bags for our road trip, and grab the road maps? I almost forgot. I will also need a pillow to sit on in the car. I would have taken care of all that, but since I only have 2 feet, as you very well know, I have no use. I have to use them very sparingly." I can tell by the look on Tommy's face he doesn't find Mom's comments amusing as he starts working on her list. Mom can get Mom can get back at you with more than just a Shelley look. Another lesson learned. I don't think Tommy will talk about how many shoes Mom has ever again. "I'm sorry that I can't help you guys." Tommy says, "That's all right, Lee. We got it. Your mother and I want you to start feeling better." The car's loaded. We get our hugs and kisses goodbye. And just like that, Mom and Tommy are gone. I should be elated. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I have 4 days off from school, but I could care less. I feel like death warmed over. I hear the back door open. Normally, I'm happy to see Joseph, but not right now. He was here all day, so why is he back? Joseph says, "I know you're not in the mood for visitors, Lee, but I feel bad for you. I thought you could use some company. Grandma Pearl thinks it's a good idea as well." "She does she?" I say sarcastically. Grandma jumps in. "Yes, I do, Lee. And as soon as I unpack the rest of my bags, I'm making you that blue tea I promised you. Now stop fussing and enjoy your friend's company. I'll be right back." I must have dozed off. I open my eyes. Joseph, Blaine, and Cheryl are playing War, my favorite card game. Grandma Pearl says, "You woke up just in time, Lee. I have your blue tea ready." Uncle George and his best friend, Buck, walked in. Buck is the largest man I've ever seen in my life. I'm guessing he weighs 400 pounds and is close to 7 feet tall. "I smell chocolate chip cookies," Buck says. Grandma must have seen the look on my face because the first word out of her mouth are, "Yes, Buck, and there's plenty to go around," as she flashes me her Shelley grandma look. But first, I'm giving Lee his blue tea. Uncle George looks at me and says, "If I were you, I'd run like hell. That shit tastes awful." Now I know where Mom gets her looks from because Grandma Pearl shoots Uncle George a look that would kill 100 stampeding buffalo. "Button it up, George," Grandma Pearl says. "Lee will be just fine, won't you, Lee?" "Well, I'm a little concerned about what Uncle George just said." "Don't pay any attention to your uncle. When you finish your blue tea, there will be chocolate chip cookies waiting on you. Besides, Grandma Pearl's homemade pies, she makes the best chocolate chip cookies." Uncle George says, "Come on, Buck, let's go." "No way. I'm going to stick around to see if this blue tea is for real." I asked, "I have a question, Grandma Pearl. Why do you call it blue tea?" Uncle George shouts, "Because it's blue, you dumbass." Grandma Pearl, defending me, says, "Be nice, George. Lee isn't feeling well. There's no need for name calling. Lee, the tea has a blue tint to it. It's an old remedy passed down through generations. My mother, her mother, and so on used this recipe. Uncle George says, in other words, that's some old shit. Uncle George must be in a foul mood because the curse words are rolling off his tongue. Grandma explains, as I was saying, Lee, it has special herbs that have been passed down through generations. It has a haint blue tint to it. Haint blue is a color used primarily in the South to ward off demons and ghosts. And in some cases, some people paint their entire houses with it inside and out. It is said that ghosts and spirits can't cross over water. The haint blue represents water. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Are you saying I have a demon or a spirit inside me? No, Lee, I'm not saying that at all. Since you mention it, though, that it's a possibility with everything going on in the house. How did Grandma find out about our house being haunted? Grandma continued. My mother, your great grandmother, claims that if blue tea can remove spirits, it can surely remove a flu virus. All I know is whenever people have the flu and drink the blue tea, they immediately feel better. Nothing happens by coincidence. Whatever is inside you will be history soon. Buck is like a little kid taking in every word Grandma Pearl is saying. I ain't got time for this shit, Uncle George says as he heads for the door. I'm out. I don't believe in this voodoo magic bullshit. Joseph asks, is it voodoo magic, Grandma Pearl? You can believe whatever you want to, Joseph. Lee will be better soon, and that's all that matters. I've never had quite an audience like this, though, Grandma says as she pours the blue tinted tea into a glass mug. The aroma smells wonderful. All eyes are on me as Grandma hands me the cup of tea. Joseph, Cheryl, Buck, and Blaine watch as I raise the magical, sweet-smelling tea to my lips. Okay, big brother, the spotlight's on you. Drink up, says Cheryl. I'm thinking to myself, should I drink it fast, slow, or just down it? I down the entire contents of the magical potion. A big mistake. Uncle George is right. It tastes like shit. Plus, it's scalding hot. Grandma Pearl says, in my 55 years on this planet, I've never seen a person down a hot cup of tea. Are you all right, Lee? I can't answer Grandma because my throat's on fire. I'm proud of myself for drinking every drop of it and not puking it out. Grandma Pearl is probably thinking I'm the biggest idiot on the planet. I mean, who downs a cup of hot tea of anything? I feel the room spinning. It feels like I'm in a trance. I'm floating high above the room and looking down on everyone. I see the look of death on my face with my head tilted back. I hear each second of the clock ticking, each drop of water dripping, and the howling wind outside blowing through the leafless trees. The silence is broken by Cheryl screaming, "Oh my God, Grandma Pearl, you killed Lee!" Blaine starts to cry. Cheryl, Lee's not dead. Calm down. Lee will be back in his old self in a few minutes. A crash of thunder knocks the power out. I can hear Buck ask Grandma if we have any candles. Grandma relays Buck's question to Cheryl. Cheryl responds, I don't think we have any candles. Blaine walks down the hall and comes back with candles and matches. Blaine lights the candles and hands the matches to Grandma. Grandma Pearl says, the youngest one here saves the day. Thank you, Blaine. Blaine is smiling ear to ear. Joseph asks, Grandma Pearl, do you think Lee has an evil spirit inside him? Joseph, this is the second time you've asked me that. Lee is going to be just fine. And as I said before, that is all that matters. Joseph says, I'm sorry, Grandma. I was just worried about Lee. Grandma Pearl walks over to Joseph, puts her arms around him, and says, it usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the effects of the blue tea to wear off. Everything is going to be all right. Again, another crash of thunder. This time it rattles everything in the kitchen. How can there be lightning when it's blizzard outside? The front door blows open, which scares the dickens out of everyone. Battling gale force winds, Buck uses every bit of his 400 pounds to shut the door. Great job, Buck, I shout over the wind and thunder. This scares the crap out of everyone as they turn and stare at me standing behind them. They think I'm still recovering in the kitchen. Blaine shouts, "You're not dead, Lee!" "No, I'm not. And thank you, Blaine, for getting the candles and matches." Quoting Grandma, "You saved the day." On that note, I don't think you're old enough to be lighting candles. We will save that discussion for another day. Joseph asks, "So, Lee, could you hear everything that was going on? Your eyes were open, but you were zoned out." "Yeah, it was weird. I feel like I'm in my body, but at the same time, I'm floating around the room, looking down at everyone, including myself." Buck says, "That blue tea is powerful." Grandma answered, "Yes, it is, Buck. It is the most powerful remedy that I use." Turning her attention to me, Grandma asks, "How are you feeling now, Lee?" "Well, I don't have a fever. My headache is gone, and I feel great. Thank you, Grandma Pearl." A loud clack makes all of us jump. The power is back on. "I have a question for you, Grandma." "What is it, Lee?" "What happens to all of those recipes when you're no longer here?" Grandma responds, "I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but the blue tea recipe and all of my other spiritual recipes will come to an end when I die. Unfortunately, your mother doesn't believe in any of this stuff, and she's the next in line." Cheryl asks, "Can you pass the recipes down to me?" "No, Cheryl, I can't." "Why not?" "I would love to, but the cycle cannot be broken. It cannot skip a generation. And since your mother is a non-believer, she is breaking the cycle because she thinks all this is hocus pocus." Angrily, Cheryl shouts, "We will see about that. When Mom gets home, we're going to have a heart-to-heart." "No, you're not, Cheryl. I love you with all my heart. But you must not mention this to your mother. A lot of people don't believe in superstitions the way I do. And that's okay. God made every one of us different. We're all unique. So not a word to your mother. Do you hear me? Not a word." Grandma Pearl blows out the candles. I watch a shadow figure slither up the kitchen wall and disappear into the ceiling. It dawns on me that Cheryl's bedroom is above the kitchen. I run up to Cheryl's room. I spot the shadowy figure disappearing into Cheryl's ceiling. Above her ceiling is the attic. The only way to get into the attic is through my mother and Tommy's bedroom. I jump up on their bed, but I'm too short to reach the hatch. A piece of plywood covering the hole in the ceiling is all that separates me from entering the attic. As I'm contemplating my next move, Grandma Pearl bursts into the room. "Don't even think about it," Grandma shouts as she is out of breath from climbing the stairs. "Do you see it, Grandma?" "Yes, I do." "Then you know I need to go into the attic." "What's your next move once you get inside the attic? Huh? Have you thought about that?" Dazed and confused, I'm at a loss for words. Grandma's right. What is my next move? What if this thing, be it a ghost or whatever it is up there, how do I confront it? Grandma Pearl talked me down off the bed. Grandma says, "I have a plan, Lee." "What is it?" "We smoke whatever's up there out with sage, tobacco, and incense. I have a special herb I include for added protection." Excitedly, I shout, "Let's do it!" "Not so fast. Certain steps must be taken. If those steps aren't done correctly and a portal is left open, it can be very dangerous. I've never done this procedure before, but I watched my mother do it once when I was a teenager. Time is on our side, Lee. Be patient." Was that thing inside me, Grandma? Is that what the blue tea removed? Grandma Pearl goes back downstairs without answering my questions. And that's how chapter 15 ends. And there's so much that we haven't been able to cover that, and I'm so sad that we don't get to finish it. Because we don't get to talk about like the about Bonnie, or like the trip to Kent and how that goes, and about like Mrs. Finch and her secrets that she keeps and why she doesn't like Lee, and the first day of high school, and then like they come in threes, and then there's like a sleepover, and then you don't even get to meet old boxcar yet. So there's plenty of stuff, you know, that you're missing by not finishing it. So make sure you buy your copy of Spencer's Ghost, The Guardian by Al Cooley as soon as you can, so you can finish the story yourself. Beyond that, make sure you tune in next week as we sit down with Al Cooley, the author himself, and we pick his brain a little bit. And we will find out maybe a little bit about his sequel to this book. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's check messages real quick. I don't want to leave any chats out. And that was how I think you should put a book club podcast. Maybe we could put really a third podcast. Maybe I can do it with a friend or something. I'm already doing two, man. This is it's a very good book, Adam. If you get the chance to buy it, I would. It's an amazing story. It's all based on his real life experience. He just kind of changed the names and changed some of the information to protect the privacy of the people, and to make it more as a flowing story. Oh, I guess we can put Bob away, huh? Good night, Bob. And let's do this so I don't feel like I am the center of attention as much as that is. But yeah, definitely pick up your copies. Let's go back to chat. And Adam said, I would be the buck in the cream. Give me cookies. I think that's all of us. You know, fat kids unite. Like, I'm so excited because we have Oreos in the house right now. What does that say about me? Oreos and the, what do they call them? They're like the knockoff Girl Scout cookies, the caramel and coconut ring things. We have some of those, and like the peanut butter buddy things. They're like the knockoff Girl Scout cookies. They're the best. Oh, you're so sweet. Al says, thank you for highlighting my book. I'll be here to answer any questions next week. Thanks again, y'all. So yeah, he'll be there, answer any question anybody has. If you have any questions on writing, or how to write from your real life, that kind of thing. Great night to pick Al's brain. He's an excellent guy, very kind. So I look forward to sitting down. Double stuffed Oreos are your jam? Yep, that's what we got. Can't look, I'm drooling. But anyway, thank you again, everybody, for stopping in, listening to the story. It's sad to let it go because it's such a good book. I hope you take time out to buy it and read it yourself, because you will not be disappointed. Same thing with Derek's books from the first month. Amazing books. You're not going to be disappointed. The anthology books are wonderful if you want something quick. Pick up, read a story, and then put it back down. If you're not like a sit down and read the whole book type of person, like I can be sometimes because I get hyper focused. But yeah, definitely pick it up. So there's nothing else. I want to thank everybody for watching. And as always, I'm going to go have some Oreos. Sweet dreams and good night. Bye-bye, guys. Let me find it. I always lose it. Here we go. Bye-bye, guys. Love you. Mwah. Go enjoy some cookies and hot cocoa. Bye.